Have you ever known exactly what you should do but couldn't make yourself do it? Maybe it's deepening your prayer life. Maybe it's forgiving someone who hurt you. Maybe it's starting the ministry, business, or mission God keeps placing on your heart. Maybe it's having a difficult conversation. Maybe it's taking the next step in your vocation. Or maybe simply doing that one thing you felt God asking you to do for months or even years. Why is it so hard to move forward? In his book, Coached by Paul the Apostle, Father Nathan Cromly offers powerful insights. He explains that paralysis isn't just something physical. There are also places in our lives where we become spiritually and emotionally paralyzed, places where we stop acting with intention because fear, discouragement, or uncertainty hold us back. Today, I want to share 5 lessons from St. Paul that can help us overcome fear, stop feeling stuck, learn how to take the next faithful step God is calling us to take. Number 1, fear creates paralysis. One of the greatest obstacles in life usually isn't a lack of ability, it's fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of making the wrong decision, fear that things won't change. Father Cromly describes what he calls the paralysis of fatalism. It's the mindset that says, why bother? Nothing is going to change. I'll probably fail anyway. And when we believe those thoughts, we stop moving. But the truth is, not moving is still a decision. When we refuse to act because we are afraid, fear begins making our decisions for us. St. Paul understood the fear, but he refused to let fear control his life. He trusted God more than his circumstances. In Romans 8, St. Paul reminds us that we have not received a spirit of fear, but the spirit of adoption. We are God's children, and because we belong to him, we don't have to be controlled by fear. Practical takeaway: ask yourself, where has fear kept me from doing something I believe God is asking me to do? What is one area where I need to take the next faithful step? Number 2, God reveals his will one step at a time. One of the greatest lessons from St. Paul is this: you don't have to see the entire road ahead, you only need enough light for the next step. Paul prayed, he discerned, he sought wisdom from others, but eventually he moved. He didn't have every detail of his mission figured out before beginning. There were moments when God redirected him. There were doors that closed. There were unexpected challenges. But none of that could have happened if Paul refused to move forward. Many of us pray, God, show me your entire plan for my life. But often God's answer is, trust me with today, take the next faithful step. Faith doesn't always mean knowing where every step will lead. Faith means trusting the one who leads us. Practical takeaway: instead of asking, what will my entire future look like? Ask, what is one faithful step God is asking me to take today? Number 3, hope gives us courage. Before we can move forward, we need hope. Hope is what gives us the courage to act. Think about St. Paul. He was beaten, imprisoned, rejected, misunderstood, shipwrecked, yet he continued forward. Not because life was easy, not because he had everything under control. He continued because he trusted that Christ was faithful. Our confidence cannot be built only on our circumstances, because circumstances change. Our confidence has to be built on God. When fear tells us, you can't do this, you will fail, it's too late. Hope reminds us, God is with you. God can work through you. God is not finished with you. Practical takeaway: when fear starts speaking, answer it with God's promises. Spend time praying with Romans 8 this week and remind yourself that God's love is stronger than your fears. Number 4, Catholics are sent into action. One of the most challenging lessons from St. Paul is that faith is meant to move. Love is not only something we feel, love is something we do. Prayer matters, discernment matters, preparation matters, but eventually there comes a moment when we have to act. The beautiful thing about faithful action is that it changes the situation. New opportunities appear, God opens doors, we grow in courage, we discover gifts we didn't know we had. Think about what happens at the end of every Mass. We are sent. We are not simply meant to attend Mass and return unchanged. We are sent into the world to become Christ's hands and feet, to forgive, to serve, to lead, to evangelize, to love. Practical takeaway: what is one thing you've been thinking about, praying about, or planning for months but still haven't started? Maybe today is the day to take the next faithful step. Number 5, God uses weak people. Many people think, when I become stronger, when I become more confident, when I become more qualified, then God can use me. But St. Paul teaches something different. God's power is made perfect in weakness. Paul didn't change the world because he was impressive, changed the world because he surrendered himself completely to Christ. He allowed God to work through his weaknesses. And that same invitation is given to us. God does not need perfect people. He does not need people who have everything figured out. He needs people who are willing to trust him, people who are willing to say yes, People willing to take the next faithful step. Don't wait until you are fearless. Don't wait until you have every answer. Don't wait until everything is perfect. Instead, ask, Lord, what is the next faithful step you're asking me to take? Then trust Him enough to take it, because God often works through small acts of obedience. One prayer, one conversation, one decision, one act of courage, one faithful step at a time. That is how St. Paul changed the world, and that is how God continues to change the world today, through ordinary people who simply say yes. If this video encouraged you, leave a comment. What is one faithful step you believe God is asking you to take this week? And if you found this video valuable, please consider subscribing, giving it a like, and sharing it with a friend who might need this message today. Your support helps this channel reach more Catholics who are seeking to grow in faith and live more fully for Christ. Thank you for watching.